Okay, good morning, everyone. To our Dean, Professor Minerva Thame, our Deputy Deans, our Heads of Departments, Heads of Schools, our Program Directors, our faculty members and other members of staff, to our students who are here with us and family members of our students, and for all those who have joined us this morning. Welcome to the University of the West Indies Faculty of Medical Sciences orientation for the academic year 2021-2022. You actually are here with us on this platform this morning because we have been forced to navigate what has turned out to be, of course, a very unpredictable and unprecedented time in our generation. So while we try to minimize our face-to-face interaction, we still want to remain engaged as a university family. And so we at the Faculty of Medical Science extend sincere congratulations to our new students and also to our returning students who have persevered in spite of the ongoing circumstances. So you being with us here today really is a demonstration of your ability, your readiness, and your willingness to chart your own paths, lining it, of course, with success. And so you have earned your place here, and we pray that you will progress with unparalleled drive and perseverance. So, of course, nothing in life that you want really comes easy. So don't expect it to be easy, especially during these times, but I can assure you it will be one of the greatest experiences of your lifetime. So we hope that you will navigate this space, whether it's online or blended learning modalities that will be used, with minimum difficulty, and you look back on this day at some point with a smile. So heartiest of welcome to you to our orientation session for today for Faculty of Medical Sciences. All right, we're going to kickstart our program, get right into the meat of the matter. And firstly, we are going to be getting greetings and welcome from our school and program directors. So we have lined up in this order, Dr. Cameil Wilson-Clarke from the PharmD program, Dr. Thaon Jones from our dentistry program, Ms. Carol Rose from the School of Medical Radiation Technology, Dr. Marsha-Lyn McKoy from BBMedSc, Dr. Carron Gordon from Physical Therapy, Dr. Dawn Munroe from our nursing program, and Dr. Annette Crawford-Sykes from our MBBS program. So they are going to be giving you greetings in that order, and I will now hand over to Dr. Cameil Wilson-Clarke.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Chair, Mrs. Tracia Gay, Kennedy-Dixon. To our guest speaker, welcome Mrs. Michelle McKoy-Stewart, our Dean, Professor Minerva Thame, Deputy Deans, other heads of schools, program directors, fellow academic staff, administrative staff, students, family members, well-wishers. We are so happy you're here with us today to join in this great journey that you're about to undertake. So it is my honor to welcome all of the new Faculty of Medical Science students here today. We're really, really happy to have you. However, I am the program director for the Doctor of Pharmacy program. And so I'd like to make a special welcome to all the entry-level Doctor of Pharmacy students, class of 2026. Please, in the chat, could you type capital R, common X? RX meaning that this is pharmacy, so that we can see how many students are online. Okay, we appreciate your interest in this program, and I will share these few words with you by Mary Ann Radmacher, the writer. And she says, live with intention, walk to the edge, listen hard, practice wellness, play with abandon, laugh, choose with no regret, continue to learn, do what you love, live as if this is all there is, end quote. However, I would like to add a few more to that, and it is one, give to the less fortunate and show empathy to those who need it. As students, you will be faced with countless choices. However, remember, you are here to read for a degree. So during this new journey of your life, walk good as time flies. Thank you, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavor. Stay COVID-19 safe, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilson-Clarke. We now go to Dr. Thaon Jones. All right. Okay, he's with us. Lovely.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On behalf of the School of Dentistry, let me welcome all of the new students. You are joining us in what we are terming AC2 after COVID year 2. And as you join us, you come into a faculty that has made a transition to the online format. And we are hopeful that as we go forward with you, we will give you a academic journey that is filled with excitement, hard work, and in the end that you would have passed through our faculty for the next 5 years, 3 years, and look back and say we made it through this new era of online learning. And we do hope that we can get back to face-to-face, but you have to play your part and be vaccinated, follow the protocols as we are trying to do. A special welcome to the School of Dentistry students. We will be seeing you later this week. And we always say to all the students that no island can make it through this faculty. We guide you that you have to work in a team, work together, follow the guidance of your instructors, program directors, and you'll make it through successfully. So to everyone, all the best, and we'll see you when we see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jones. Ms. Carol Rose from the School of Medical Radiation Technology.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Dean Minerva Thame, members of the Orientation Committee, members of the academic, administrative, and support staff of the Faculty of Medical Sciences, new and returning students, parents, good morning. A special welcome to those students who will be joining the Mona family for the first time. You have chosen to become part of a dynamic, diverse, interesting, and warm community. Drilling down to the SMRT program, the Diagnostic Imaging Program, the program provides an array of opportunities to learn, grow, self-discover, and make a difference in the world. I want you to bear this focus in mind as you undertake this journey, because students sometimes become distracted by the challenges of study, the challenges of having to chop and change routines in an environment of the pandemic. And in the process, they lose sight of the bigger picture, of the goal. It is situations as these that offer opportunities for challenging yourselves, for bringing out your creativity, for discovering viable alternatives that we never even dreamt of. You are here, and we look forward to providing for you the best clinical and classroom experience we can, be it by your physical, virtual, or blended presence. Our offices are located on the first floor of the Faculty of Medical Sciences Teaching and Research Complex We have a vibrant student body in the Association of Student Radiographers, headed by the very active and businesslike President Shamar Patterson and his team. Our departmental orientation will be held virtually on Friday, and at that time, you will be provided the details of the program. We look forward to having you on board. Have a great orientation and an even greater academic year. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Rose. We now have Dr. Marsha-Lyn McKoy from the BBMedSc program.
Dean, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, students, good morning. Welcome to all the incoming students in the Faculty of Medical Sciences, and of course, an extra special welcome to the students in the BBMedSc program. We are so delighted that you decided to study with us, and we hope that you are excited at the prospect of studying in the prestigious Faculty of Medical Sciences at the University of the West Indies. We hope that you are looking forward to this new experience. During this BBMedSc program, you are going to be getting a lot of work to do. There's going to be anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, other ologies that you will have to study. You will be spending hours in labs and tutorials and lectures, but we do remind you that this experience is supposed to be one that you are considering both intellectual development and personal development. So we encourage you to make the opportunity of embracing everything, all the experiences provided by university life, as this will better prepare you for the real world after university. I encourage you to start your program with a plan. Set your goals at the outset and work consistently towards them. If you do that, you will actually do very well. I look forward to seeing you in the session on Friday, the BBMedSc session, where we'll be able to have further discussions with you and to answer any questions that you may have. On behalf of the team of Basic Medical Sciences, I do wish you great success for this academic year and beyond, and we look forward to working with you. Congratulations again on being accepted, and all the best. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. McKoy. I really like that you said you're going to be studying so many ologies throughout their time in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. Couldn't have said it any better. All right, we now move on to Dr. Carron Gordon from our physical therapy program. Your mic is still muted, Dr. Gordon.
Yes,
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the University of the West Indies and to the Faculty of Medical Sciences. And I want to, as I welcome all students in all 7 programs, I want to make a special welcome to the physical therapy students and to remind you that I will see you on Thursday morning at 10. Now, as you all embark on this journey, there are a few things I'd like to encourage you in. And the first is I'd like to encourage you to remain focused. There are many things that could pose as distractions as you journey over the next 3 to 5 years. But do not forget exactly why it is you have come to the University of the West Indies and to the Faculty of Medical Sciences. You have come to earn your degree. Let that be your focus. And I would also want to remind you that it is very important for you to set yourself very high standards. High standards, I want you to aim always for an A. Do not be satisfied with mediocrity. Don't be satisfied with just scraping the C's. Always aim for an A. And finally, I want to remind you and encourage you that as you journey, there will be many others journeying with you, and I'm sure you all want to make it to the end. So I want to encourage you to see how you can help someone along the way as you continue on this journey. There are persons who you will encounter who will have many difficulties, many challenges, and it is my hope that you will find some way to help someone so that you can all make it together and you can all make it stronger. So again, welcome to all of you. And I hope that you will enjoy this journey and that the next few years will be the best years of your life. So all the best and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gordon. We will now be hearing from Dr. Dawn Munroe, and she represents the nursing program.
I am merging with my virtual background, so I will not choose that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the University of the West Indies Mona campus. Welcome to the health sciences. Welcome to all of the programs within the health sciences. Welcome, welcome to nursing. I am thrilled this morning to welcome you and to congratulate you on being selected. Your selection means that you are the best of the best, and don't let anyone ever take that away from you. What I would like to leave you with this morning is let discovery be that which excites you. When I was beginning my journey, I began my journey as a nurse at the very tender age of 17, and I will not tell you how long I have been a nurse for because you're good at math. But at that time, I did not have a vision that I would be in the position that I'm in. I never thought that I would have a PhD. I never thought that I would be the head of a prestigious department within a prestigious university. That was not in my brain at all. All I know is that I wanted to serve. At this time in my life, I still want to serve, but I'm happy that my reality is bigger than my vision. I want to share with you that as you enter into this journey, there are days that you might wonder, did I do the right thing? Am I equipped? Am I ready for this? Let me tell you something. You are absolutely ready for this. Your reality can be bigger than your vision, but do not be afraid to think big, to think boldly. You have come to these professions at a time when the world is hailing us as superheroes. I like a little caption that I saw, I'm a nurse, what's your superpower? So as you enter in, I want you to walk around with a chip on your shoulder. I'm a nursing student, what's your superpower? I'm a medical student, I'm a pharmacy student, I'm a physical therapy student, what's your superpower? Let me tell you something. You have amazingly great potential. Your grades at the CXC and CAPE only give a little evidence of what you are capable of. You're capable of excellence. You're capable of impact. You are absolutely capable of navigating your programs with success. So again, I want to say to you, congratulations, welcome, and let discovery be that which excites you. I want us to just leave a special plug for the nursing students who are being oriented this morning. This afternoon, there's going to be a registration session for all of the departments. However, on the 2nd, that's on Thursday, there's going to be a special orientation for the nursing students. And at that time, we'll be taking you through the registration process. So don't be concerned about that this afternoon. We are going to be taking you through that on Thursday. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this time, and congratulations. Well done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Munroe. Wow, this is getting better and better. So Dr. Munroe asked, what is your superpower? So I had to stop for a second. And I thought, so I'm a nuclear pharmacist. What is your superpower? Oh, I'm also a university lecturer. What is your superpower?
Absolutely.
This is really awesome. This is really awesome. I'm really loving it. All right, our final greeting from our departments or programs will be Dr. Annette Crawford-Sykes, and she is from the MBBS program.
Good morning, everyone. Should I say I'm Annette Crawford-Sykes and my superpower is being okay, right. Professor Thame, Dean of our faculty, Deputy Deans of the Faculty of Medical Sciences, Michelle McKoy-Stewart, our guest speaker, directors of the various programs, and you've heard them all because I bring up the rear. Okay, other academic staff members, students, parents, good morning. A very special good morning to the students for the incoming class. I am Annette Crawford-Sykes, and I greet all of you, all the incoming students of the Faculty of Medical Science in my capacity as Deputy Dean for Teaching and Learning. As the Program Director for the MBBS program, I hail those students especially. However, we will meet together one-to-one on Thursday. So the question I want to ask you all this morning is what will happen in 2024, 2025, and 2026? Can any of the incoming students answer me? Oh, here is where I miss the type of interaction that is possible face-to-face, which is so different in the virtual space. All of you that form the incoming students today will graduate. The year is dependent on your individual programs. And you might say, but Miss, we just come, how are you talking about graduation already? I am so glad you asked. I am referring you to that date as we have to begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People states that when we do this, it orients how we do the everyday activities. That end will come however we have traversed the middle portion between today and graduation. I invite you at this very juncture, at the beginning of a major change in your life path, a change that will have very significant impact on your personal and professional development, that you do not just exist. Please thrive. Your next objection then may be, Miss, thrive in this COVID environment? My answer is yes, yes, thrive in this COVID environment. Despite there being a need for major change in how we view everything, from simple interactions to teaching and learning to socialization, that change should never, cannot be seen as all bad. If you take that view, then you will not see the opportunities. The class size varies according to the programs, the larger ones being nursing and MBBS. It means that though you are not face-to-face yet, you have a whole set of new persons to get to meet and get to know. You will need those persons on this journey. Is everyone going to be your friend? No. But on the other hand, some will be. Are you waiting for the other persons to reach out? Well, so are they. Make the first move. Find a friend. Proverbs 17 verse 17 says, a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. Will everyone to whom you reach out and accept your offer of friendship? Again, the answer is no, but there are others. Rather than be daunted, simply accept that person's no and move to try the many others that are around. There are students in your class. There are students outside your class, but in your program. There are students that are in your faculty in another program. There are those in other faculties. Get involved in university life. Get involved in your class, get involved in your faculty. It helps your academic performance and it helps your development. As you enter FMS in 2021, you have matriculated successfully. You are to be here. Embrace the experience and thrive academically and personally. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Crawford-Sykes. So our takeaway for students is that you have to thrive no matter what happens. Thrive, thrive, thrive. Thank you so much. Okay, so you have heard from all our program directors and from all our different schools or programs have been represented. And as you can see, we have a stellar group of academics who are spearheading the different programs that you will be joining come next week. And so rest assured that you are definitely in good hands and you will be taken care of. Okay, so moving on with our program, we will be hearing from our Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences. But before she speaks, I'd like to give you an introduction so you know exactly who our Dean is. Professor Minerva Thame. She is a professor of perinatal and pediatric medicine. She is also a consultant pediatrician at the University Hospital of the West Indies. And of course, she is the Dean for our precious Faculty of Medical Sciences. Professor Thame received her Doctor of Medicine in Pediatric and her PhD, which her thesis was entitled Nutritional Determinants of Fetal and Placental Growth. And this was received from the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. So she is a daughter of the soil. She is, of course, I have to highlight, she is the first female dean. And so we are so proud in this moment. We are just elated and happy to have Professor Thame at our helm in this faculty. Professor Thame, you know, she is so well-rounded. She has done research involving the roles of maternal anthropometry and body composition on fetal growth in pregnant women with sickle cell disease and pregnant adolescents, comparing them to the mature pregnant women. She collaborated with Professor Farouk Jahour from the CNRC, Baylor College, Texas, on the relationship between maternal nutritional status and pregnancy outcome using stable isotope techniques. Their work has shown a significant difference with the way in which the adolescent uses nutrients in pregnancy compared to the mature pregnant adult. So she has done significant work. Administratively, she was the former head of the Department of Child and Adolescent Health, the Director of Graduate Studies and Research for the Mona campus, and presently, as I mentioned before, she's the Dean of the FMS. She continues as one of the consultants in charge of the Special Care Nursery, / Neonatal Intensive Care Unit at UHWI. This clinical role involves teaching both undergraduates and postgrad students in pediatrics. Prof. Thame has received the Principal's Award for the Most Outstanding Researcher in the Faculty of MedSci on 2 occasions, and received the Principal's Award for Best Research Publication for the 3 papers. She was recognized by the Rotary Club and received the Paul Harris Fellow Award for recognition of her work in clinical medicine in Jamaica. She has also received an award from the Jamaica Medical Foundation for outstanding contribution in the field of child health. In 2011, she also received the Vice Chancellor's Award for excellence in the category of research. Colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I bring our Dean, Prof. Thame, to the fore. Over to you, Prof. Thame.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chairperson, Mrs. Tracia Kennedy-Dixon, Dr. Thaon Jones, Chairman of the Orientation Committee and his team, Mrs. Michelle McKoy-Stewart, our guest speaker. She's Acting Director for the Excellence in Teaching and Learning, which we call SETTLE. Deputy Deans, Program Directors, or other presenters, or incoming and returning students to the Faculty of Medical Sciences, parents, good morning and welcome. Our faculty, as you can see, is a diverse one as we offer 7 dynamic programs. You've heard from dentistry, nursing, medicine, diagnostic imaging, pharmacy, physiotherapy, Bachelor's of Basic Medical Sciences. All our programs are interrelated, and none of these professions can really survive without each other, as we depend on each other to deliver a holistic approach to our patients and clients. As we continue to grapple with the challenges that this pandemic has brought us, we as a faculty will persevere, rethink, think outside of the box, reinvent ourselves, and pivot as we strive to survive. We need to see our obstacles as our opportunities. Despite these difficult times, our faculty has been able to hold its core business together, and this includes teaching our students, conducting research, and delivering service to the Jamaican population. We no doubt will continue to have challenges, but as a resilient group, we will continue to find a way to execute our duties and our responsibilities. You all are embarking on a journey with exciting times ahead, and we look forward to orienting you and welcoming you to our faculty. We wish to embrace our newest members of the faculty. We know you will work hard academically, but I would like to encourage you to become involved in extracurricular activity. It is important for you to find time to do other things besides your chosen program. The UWI has many clubs and societies for you to partake, and I hope that you take the opportunity to do this. Coming to university is much more than just being in a classroom and getting your degree. I dare to say that you will learn outside of the classroom much more than you may learn in the classroom when it comes to life skills. The UWI is your place to shine, the place where you will develop long life skills. As you chart your journey forward, you must embrace your skills in organization and time management. These are skills that will not only serve you well in your academic sphere, but skills that you will learn to apply to life overall. Set yourself realistic goals. Something as simple as organizing your study timetable. Set achievable goals so that you're not frustrating yourself, and follow through with your plans. It is important to study hard, but you need to get adequate rest and you need to eat properly. You must take care of yourself. You must learn to balance your academic life with your social life. Starting your academic life doesn't mean that your social life must suffer. You need to find a way to balance them both. It is important for your mental health. On this new journey, you will meet new friends, And these friends more than likely will become your lifelong friends. Treasure these friendships. As new university students, you need to become critical thinkers. Analyze, synthesize, and evaluate the information that you are given. Have rich discussion and learn how to dissect information and to take away messages from them. Information must be logical, it must make sense, and you need to therefore develop that querying mind. As we welcome you to our faculty and to the University of the West Indies, I would like to remind you that you're joining a prestigious university. According to the Times Higher Education, the World University Ranking, you are joining the UWI, the #1 university in the Caribbean, the university in the top 2% in Latin America, and the university in the top 4% in the world. As our motto states, Orient ex Occidente luz, light rising from the west, this is your place to shine. I welcome you all and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our Dean, Prof. Thame. Quite a number of gems there. Wow, very power packed. And what I took away was you empowering the students to have a balance. So it's important to have a social life, as the Dean said, you know, for your own mental health. But it's not just about your academics and your social life, but you actually have to rest and eat properly. So sometimes we actually neglect little things along this journey, but our Dean has us covered because she has implored you, students, to ensure that you actually create some form of balance along with your study patterns. As we progress with our program, we are now going to be hearing from our guest speaker. Our guest speaker for today is Mrs. Michelle Stewart McKoy. She is a faculty/educational developer in the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning here at the Mona campus. She is an educator, she's a learner, she's a researcher, and she is an e-learning enthusiast. She comes to us with more than 30 years experience working at the secondary and tertiary level of education locally, regionally, and internationally. Her research interests include game-based learning, gamification, learner profiling, and increasing learning experiences within online learning environments. Her guiding philosophy is one of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Please help me welcome Mrs. Michelle Stewart McKoy.
Thank you so much. I'm just about to share my screen so that we can begin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I cannot repeat what has been said. I can just summarize some of the main points I pulled together while I was listening. So you ought to think outside the box, get involved, find a balance, boast your superpower, enjoy the process, survive, start at the end, be prepared, thrive, be creative. And as we do this in this strange, still strange setting, I am here to talk to you a little bit about learning in a COVID environment. Now, much of what I'm going to say you have already heard, and so it will be mostly a repetition of some of the things that you're here, so that you have heard before. So I'm looking at learning in the environment, the COVID environment, and I'm here to give you some tips and a few strategies on how you can find that balance. You can survive, you can thrive, you can boast your superpower, and all the other things that you have been told before. So let us go into it. When I went and I looked at the term new normal, because we're still referring to this COVID environment as the new normal, I found 2,460,000,000 hits in less than 30 seconds. So it means that we are still operating in this space where there are significant disruptions, there are unprecedented changes that continue, there are new habits that we have to learn and practice, and there is the acceptance of this as a new reality. Now, what does that mean for you? Having to come to classes online, having to exist at home. Well, it means that we have to do several things. Some of them we have already started, some of them we just need to continue and to practice. So we need to have a dedicated study space. Now, we are not unrealistic. We know that not everybody, not all students have a dedicated space at home, that there are other classes going on while your class is going on, that you will share a space where it may not be the easiest of things to do. However, as much as is humanly possible and as much as your context will allow you, get all the tools that you need for learning. All right, make sure you have your textbook, make sure you have the websites, make sure you have your devices, make sure you are in the mindset when you're setting up your space, okay? So as much as possible, have a room, have a space that is for whenever you have your classes, all right? Now, you have to get up, you have to get up. So you get up, have breakfast or lunch, whatever it is, have a snack, get dressed, okay? And get prepared for learning. We know that most times the cameras aren't on, and then you figure that, oh, it's easy for me to just lie down in bed and keep my night gown on. But if you need to turn your camera on, you need to prepare yourself for that headspace, okay? So get up, get fed, get dressed, and get prepared for learning. And organize your study area for optimal success. What does that mean? Ensure that you, if you can, you make sure that your space is neat, okay? Put away the things that have nothing to do with learning just now. Ensure that if a plant works for you, you have a plant there, but the radio shouldn't be there and on, and you certainly should not be talking to your neighbors or your friends when it is time for school, okay? Think of yourself as being in that physical space online where you have to ensure that you are prepared for work. And ensure that your devices are ready. Now, what do I mean by that? Ensure that you are charged. So whether or not you are using a laptop, a desktop, well, your desktop has to be plugged in. But if you're using a mobile device, your phone or a tablet, ensure that it is fully charged. Ensure that you have your internet. If it's a case that you have to buy data to put on your phones, ensure that you do that so that while your sessions are going on, you don't lose power, you don't lose internet because, okay, we know that the internet connectivity is an issue, but as much as is possible, ensure that you are prepared, your devices are charged, you have your headphone that's plugged in and working, you make sure your browser works, you have sites where you can quickly test to see if your browser is compatible, you can check your internet speed and so forth. So prepare that dedicated space, all right? Now, I want you also to think about being video conferencing ready or VLE, your virtual learning environment ready. What does that mean? Get out of bed. Even though you can learn if you lie down or if you're slouching in a corner, it impacts your circulation and it impacts your mindset for work. So come out of the bed, please. And if you slouch, it also impacts you, all right? So remember, somebody said that it's the entire being, is the whole person. So you have to ensure that mentally you're ready, physically you're ready. So get out of the bed. When you log onto the system, ensure that you use your full name, your first name and your surname, not a pet name, not an avatar's name, but your full name. This makes it easier for your facilitators to recognize who you are. Put a picture up as well. And when I say a picture, I don't mean a back shot of you. I need a picture where it's professional, your face is looking forward. It's pleasant. You can smile, you can grin, but ensure that we're seeing your face. This is in the case where you can't turn your camera on all the time. Your facilitators have an idea of what you look like. So ensure that you upload a professional picture. And if you're using a background, make sure the background is appropriate for camera on moments. So if you are in a room and you have a plain wall, you can always set up against the wall. If your device allows, you can use your virtual backgrounds, okay? There are some persons who have poster boards and they put the poster board behind them. That works as well. But ensure that your background is not distracting, that people are able to pay attention to what it is you're saying or what you're demonstrating without paying attention to what is on your wall. All right, so as much as possible, ensure that you do that and learn the basics of learning online. So the university has provided you with some tips and mini courses and tutorials on how you should navigate your learning environment, how you can upload an assignment, how you can, ensure that you are not committing academic dishonesty and so forth. Find out about these courses, these sites, and ensure that you take the responsibility of learning these things. Your facilitators won't have the time to be teaching you how to navigate the VLE, how to ensure that you upload assignments and so forth, where to go when you want to share a file in the VL in your Zoom or Blackboard classes, and therefore you have to learn. So you have to be ready for not just the camera for engagement, but also to participate, to interact with the learning environment. Create a routine, create a learning routine. And what does that mean? Have a schedule. I tend to make a little timetable and I put in realistically achievable activities in there. I know sometimes we create schedules and we overwhelm ourselves, but put in the basics, put in the core, put in the essential activities on your schedule. And when you create this routine, ensure that you include breaks. So you're going to include your water breaks, your bathroom breaks, you get a break where you just move away from your device and you stretch, and you take them. Don't just put them in the schedule, also take them, all right? While you're making your routine, ensure that you have within that somewhere you can stand. Okay, I know that all day sitting is going to have an impact, is going to take its toll on you. So stand every now and again if you can. Be prepared for your session. So if you need to do your readings, you do so and be early for the sessions. Just as how we implore you to come to your face-to-face within the first 5 minutes, the same is expected for you on the virtual, in the virtual space. So we expect you to be early and be prepared, and you can track your goals and your learnings. There are a number of apps that you can use that can be used on your desktop, your laptop, and your mobile devices. And I've mentioned a few here. My Study Life, it's free. It's a great way to organize and plan. It allows you to set up your schedule, set up your exams, set up your reminders. You have To Do, which also can be used on your laptop as well as your mobile device, and a few more I have mentioned here. And as soon as you've created this routine, make a habit of it, okay? Keep doing it, and the more you do it, the better you become. Distractions. We know that they exist, even in the face-to-face classroom. There is internet, you're at home, there is the radio, there is Netflix, and there is the fridge. As much as possible, minimize or remove these distractions. So if you need to be, if you're in a noisy background, and even if you're not in a noisy background, use a headphone, use your earplugs, the ones that come with your phones, or get a headset if you can, and use this to ensure that you focus more on what needs to be done. If you're in a space where you can actually go in a room and close the door, do that. Okay, remove the phone from your learning area. If you are using the phone, ensure that you disable the apps, the Instagram, the Snapchat, and all of those. Disable them just for the moments that you have class. If the radio is on and you can turn it off, turn it off. Turn the TV off. Don't just put it on mute, because if you're in the room where the TV is, you're still going to be distracted. Turn it off. So as much as is possible, and given your particular context, find a quiet space, close the door, remove the devices. Okay? Have all the tools that you need right there in the space that you have already set up. This is to cut down on the number of times that you have to get up to go and get them. All right? This also adds to the distraction. And we are told that when we are distracted by multitasking and doing everything else, we are less productive. The experts will tell you up to 40% less productive. Ensure that you look at the different site blocking apps. So if you're on your computers, there is a tendency for you to just double check here and go to YouTube to watch a video that your friend put out recently and so forth. But you have some sites that will help you to reduce the temptation. Okay, so you have freedom, you have self-control, you have cold turkey, you have Focus Me. And again, I am talking to you about apps that are free that you can actually use. You can check them out. And if again possible, you can inform your friends or family members that you're about to go into your learning session so that they are aware, and the sort of noise that they probably would make under normal circumstances, they would be more mindful. So these are some of the things that you should attempt to do if you can. Now, because we're operating online, okay, we are away, we are physically distanced, it means that we're going to have to pick up some new habits and throw out some of the old habits that we have until we return to a face-to-face setting. What can we do? You can join online study groups. Now, I heard someone, I think it was Professor Thame, who said that there is a social aspect that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So when you join your online study groups, consider also having groups just to let your hair down, to have some fun every now and again. It should not be the main thing that you do. You have to find that balance between academic and the social. So consider joining online study groups where you meet up, you discuss what has been done in class before, what needs to be done. The library has an e-service now. Find out more about it. Find out about all the services that you can capitalize on. And look for other places that know, well, just about everywhere has an e-component. So find out how and what exists so that you can capitalize on these. As medical professionals in the making, you should start looking out for professional online communities of not just learning, but also practice. Okay, so this is one way of you boosting your superpower even more. And brainstorm with your classmates and others on different ways that you can succeed. It's new for everybody. It's just a year in for most of us, but there are those who have undergone the whole process when it was just that area of chaos. And so as we settle in more, you find that you can reach out to other students who have done this, ask what works best for you, explain I'm struggling when you're in your groups, make suggestions, ask questions, assist. Okay, and the final thing, and I think just about everybody spoke to this, the whole matter of self-care. We have to practice self-care behaviors. It is good that we are going to be learning and we are in front of a device and we are ensuring that we're gathering as much information as possible. But if we're mentally exhausted, Zoom fatigue is real. So if you're mentally exhausted, if you're socially inept, it's going to be harder for you to focus on your academics. So ensure that you stay in touch with your facilitators, your classmates, and other critical persons. Critical persons, these are like the medical center. These are like your mentor. If you have an advisor, these are the persons who you need to stay in touch with. And you don't have to tell them all your business, you know, but just give them an idea of what it is that is going on so that they can apply the best possible solution to the case that you have. All right. And when you reach out to your classmates, it's not necessarily about you downloading on them. It could just simply be you just connecting as a way of building your mental strength. Okay. Get enough sleep. We can't say this enough. Get enough sleep. Do not carry the phone into the bed with you. Put on a do not disturb or go into night mode so that you get enough sleep. It is only when you get enough sleep that you can come back to the session the next day. Remember, online takes more out of you than being in a physical setting. You're sitting in front of the device for extended hours. You're looking on a screen for extended hours. So you have to ensure that you get enough sleep. And you have to eat healthily. The tornado and the carnado and the Bigfoot and all of these snacks aren't going to help you. Ensure that you get a healthy diet and that you eat when you should eat. Okay, so eat on time and make sure you take regular breaks from the screen. All right, we know that extended use of an electronic device can hurt us in more ways than one. So we have the matter of constantly typing that affects our wrists and our fingers. The constantly sitting affects our posture and circulation. Constantly looking on the screen affects our sight. So we should get up every now and again. Close your eyes every now and again. The 20-20-20 strategy says after 20 minutes of looking on the screen or sitting in front of the computer, you should then look away for about 20 seconds to as far as 20 feet. So if you can remember 20-20-20, it is something that you can try. And then, of course, about every 30 or so minutes, get up. All right, even if your screen is off, get up, stand, stretch. Okay, so take regular breaks and engage in some form of physical exercise. You can do yoga, you can just do stretch. If you are somebody who tends to exercise with weights or do your aerobics, ensure that you get this in. And in so doing, you are on that path, even though you're operating in an online space, to ensure that you make that balance, that you thrive, that you think outside the box, that you get creative, that you display and show off your superpower. It is yours to show off. That you make a balance between your academic and your social life. That you maintain your mental health. Okay, and as you go through, remember, there is a whole cadre. There's a big team there just waiting to help. Don't say, "Oh, I am fine," if you're not. Reach out to your critical persons. I refer to them as critical persons. Okay, ensure that you are there. And if you are having issues with your internet, speak up early enough, all right? If you're in an area where you're only connected by the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi isn't yours, again, you don't have to say all the details. You just simply say that you have challenges so that your facilitators can start putting things in place to ensure that you are not left behind, okay? I think that is it from me. Welcome again to the University of the West Indies. Welcome to another academic year, and I'm wishing you all the very best. I don't know if, well, there shouldn't be any questions, but if there are any questions, please field them to your respective facilitators when you have your individual orientation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Stewart McCoy. Oh my goodness. I'm here thinking that when I read your bio and it said you're an e-learning enthusiast, I can clearly see why. You clearly have, you know, all the expertise And for those students who are just joining us, if you did not get Mrs. Stewart McCoy's learned information from the start, she gave us 6 pointers that you need to take you throughout your time here at the UWI's Faculty of Medical Sciences. For a quick recap, she said, prepare a dedicated study space. You also need to be Zoom or Blackboard Collaborate ready. You need to create a learning routine, minimize or remove distractions, trade old study habits for new ones, and last but not least, you need to practice self-care behaviors. Wow, that is excellent. Thank you once again for those words, Mrs. Stewart McCoy. We will now be hearing from 2 of the individuals in our faculty that we need on a day-to-day to keep us functional and to ensure that things go smoothly for us. We're going to be hearing first from Mr. Craig Hall. And Mr. Craig Hall has a degree in architecture and the built environment. He is currently the facilities manager for the Faculty of Medical Science Teaching and Research Complex. He has been in this capacity since 2013. And in his role, he's actually in charge of the building's infrastructure and service operations. Let us now welcome Mr. Craig Hall.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'll be sharing with you a presentation that I have of the Faculty of Medical Science Teaching and Research Complex. So welcome to the Faculty of Medical Science Teaching and Research Complex via this medium. Hopefully, when we get full control of this deadly virus, you can all return to face-to-face teaching and learning interaction. While on your journey here, I urge you to, I hope you will come to realize that here will become your second home as you'll be transitioning into tomorrow's professionals. During your time here, I strongly urge you to take care of the facility, adhere to rules, and pay attention to notices and signs. Okay, some students will be coming in for face-to-face. There's most of the students who have practical courses will be coming in, and on entry to the complex, these are some of the protocols that I want you to adhere to. No mask, no entry. Mask must be worn at all times, on entry and throughout the building. Temperature will be checked. Please sanitize hands, and identification cards must be worn at all times so that you can be properly identified on entry to the complex. Here are some of the rules for our lecture theaters and seminar rooms and tutorial rooms. No food or drinks are allowed. No sitting on the back or on the writing surface of seats. No extra chairs are allowed except those provided. No student should interfere with the multimedia technology or the platform that we have, the podium, the smart podium that we have are the LCDs mounted on the walls and the support rooms to the back of the lecture theaters. All doors are to be kept closed to ensure sufficient cooling. Do not loiter in the lecture theaters once classes are finished. The most important rule for the lecture theaters, no food or drink allowed. Because from time to time, students sneak in water and drinks like juice. This harbors insects and it damages our seat and damages the acoustic panels that are mounted within the lecture theater. Here are some examples. This is one of our lecture theaters. There are 3 lecture theaters. Lecture theater 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just showing you the seats. No sitting at the back as this destroys the seats. No extra chairs are allowed because what happens, it damages the wall. But during this time, we have to adhere to our distancing. So we shouldn't have a problem at this time. Rules for tutorial rooms. No extra chairs are allowed except those provided. And we have a limit on our tutorial rooms now. Seating capacity, that is. No students should interfere with the multimedia system, example, the LCDs mounted on the walls. Keep all doors closed to ensure sufficient cooling. Do not loiter in the tutorial rooms once classes are finished. Common areas, all right. So we know that we are in a pandemic and we shouldn't be gathering, but there are 1 and 2 spaces that students still sit. I'm urging you to adhere to the distancing, the social distancing. Do not move around furniture within the area that they are placed. So these are seats that allow students to probably sit and study. Not probably, to sit and study. Do not sit on the arms of sofas. Do not lay down and sleep in sofas. Do not rest your feet in the sofas, whether with shoes on or shoes off. Do not sit on tables. Here are some examples again of what not to do with our furniture. Inappropriate use of this table right here, for example. The seats, they are placed in common areas. This chair here is impeding access. Should we have an emergency, we don't want the chair to be in the way to impede anyone from going to and fro. Here's another example that we don't want to have a lot of persons sitting in our common areas. And I'll just go back to this slide. Some of these chairs are turned around. Some of them we cannot move away from the spaces where they are. So whenever you enter a common area, however you see the chairs, let them remain. If they are turned to the wall, that means no sitting is allowed. And there are signs on the walls. Please observe the signs. It's another example of students doing overnight. They have placed the tables here, blocking access for persons who would come and go about their daily activities. This is not allowed. Also another example, misuse of furniture. Keep off the grass when entering the complex. The green areas, please use the pavers to enter the complex. Once again, observe and respect notices. There are opening hours. Well, there's opening hours. The opening hours displayed on the main entry door of the complex. And it's from 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Observe the silent sign for some areas. There's a postgrad reading room. It's for postgrad students, and there are opening and closing hours, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And finally, this is a very important sign. No eating or drinking in wherever area you see this sign posted. And further, when I'm finished, Mr. Young will share some other information as it concerns labs. Observe and respect notices. While we are in this pandemic, we have throughout the complex, throughout the building, a lot of signs. Please observe, please respect the signs and the information on them. There are restrooms for students near to the classrooms. and there are staff only restrooms for staff. From time to time, you see students in them, but there are separate restrooms for students. Destruction of property. These are some of the furniture that were destroyed by students in the past. So I'm just sharing them with you of some of the abuse that these furniture went under. So we have provided new solution, sturdier tables and chair combination for students to use for study or for eating. It's another one where the chair in the lecture theater was damaged, the writing surface. Other damage to furniture. So these are some of the solutions that we came up with. These in the past had wheels on them. So we have put something in place that they are harder to move and they will last a bit longer. These are other furniture that was destroyed. So this is what happens to walls when the chairs are placed close to the walls. They tend to strip the paint, and some of these stripped areas were done by students deliberately. Okay, inappropriate use of the facility, no sticking or pasting or piercing of walls to put up notices. We have notice boards provided, and if you have a notice that you want to be displayed, you can give it to me or our office manager for the facility, for the faculty, and we'll place your sign in our notice boards. This is another inappropriate use of the facility where persons throw tissue into the toilet. This happens, these are actual footages. Now, this picture here, I like to share from time to time because it's so unbelievable what students does. Now, this is a Burger King, some Burger King box that was flushed down the toilet and it had blocked it. So we had to take the toilet off the wall and to get it out. We didn't know that this was down there until we pull it off the wall. Unbelievable. So after doing the presentation that I just did, because I've shared this presentation from time to time with students over the years, and this was all pictures on the next slide were taken after the first day of orientation session in 2018, after the rules were read. So you notice the water bottle, the Burger King cup, and they weren't placed there by us just to take a picture to show. But these are actual images, photos taken. And this is really not acceptable. All right, so as I've come to the end of my presentation, these are the contact persons regarding building matters. So this is my email here. You can send me an email. And for booking of rooms, you can send to fmsbooking@uemona.edu.jm, and the other persons listed here for billing matters. Thank you. Mr. Young will share his presentation with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hall. Wow. So as a family, we're going to try to ensure that Mr. Hall has a stress-free year for this academic year, okay? Yes, it will be a mandate. So we won't be in that crop that you'll be taking pictures of to say, after you had laid down the law, this was what happened, all right? We give you that pledge. All right, so we're going to be hearing from Mr. Winston Young. Mr. Young is the laboratory manager for basic medical sciences. He is also the safety liaison officer for FMS/BMS, along with the building manager, Mr. Craig Hall. Mr. Young has been in the Faculty of Medical Sciences since 2003, and he has been in his current capacity since 2017. Let us welcome Mr. Winston Young.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Dean Thame, all academic.
Your volume is very low, Winston.
I'm sorry. Right. I was saying good morning to everyone. Dean Thame, academic staff and support team.
Still not hearing you so loudly. I don't know if the volume can turn up on your device. No?
No? Are you hearing me better now? No? Hang on one sec. My apologies. Can you hear me better now? No?
Is everybody able to hear Winston better?
I'm hearing him a little bit, just a little.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Winston.
Okay, right. So I was saying, good morning, everybody. All staff, support team, new and returning students. Mr. Hall pretty much covered the use and operation of the space. Part of my function that Mr. Hall didn't touch on, and his function also, is the health and safety of everyone in the building.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you again, Winston. Unfortunately, we are struggling to hear you, if any at all.
Can you hear me now?
You almost sound like a whisper.
Are you hearing me any better now? No? Oh. Check.
No? What we can do. Okay. Mr. Hall?
Sorry, just give me a second, please.
Okay, sure, no problem. All right, so we are trying to rectify getting the sound quality for Mr. Young's presentation. So just bear with us. We will just be a minute or two, and then we can get things rolling. All right, so while we wait for Mr. Young to come on, just an announcement that at the end of our orientation session today, we will be having an orientation village, a virtual orientation village. The start time is 12:30 p.m. So each program has a separate link that the student from each program can actually join the village via. So You can use this link to actually seek help with your registration if needed. There will be students and faculty reps that will be on the other end to assist as is needed. All right. So as soon as we are through today, it starts at 12:30 p.m. Please go on over, join the virtual village, get all your questions answered, get familiar with details of your program. There are persons who will be ready and waiting to assist you as is necessary. So we have for physiotherapy, for MBBS, for SMRT, BBMedSc, for dentistry, and for the PharmD program. As Dr. Munroe had pointed out, the School of Nursing will be hosting registration assistance on the 2nd of September, so you will be advised accordingly. Okay, so Mr. Young is now ready.
Morning again.
Lovely.
Can you hear me better now?
Perfect.
Short sprint here. Mr. Hall covered a lot of building use. A lot of that would be a part of my role. However, another portion of our responsibilities is the health and safety of everyone in the building. For labs, we have a set of lab rules that program disseminate, and those are in place to make sure that you have safe operation of the labs. Over the last year, our role has expanded in that we have had to look at to mitigate any infection of COVID and to make sure that there's a proper reporting of any suspected or even actual infection. For this, we lean our program directors and academic staff to point out if our students are sick and encourage not be embarrassed or avoid letting anyone know in the event that they think that they're going to miss out on a module or a lab. It is better if you let us know. We can put something in place to accommodate you, right? The processes that we have are confidential, and we aim to just keep everybody safe. So that's pretty much the additional bit of information that I wanted to share with you. All right, so all the measures we have, the hand washing, the monitoring, those are to keep us all safe, whether in the lab or out the building. All right. So that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Young.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that.
So sorry, Chair. I want to share a virtual tour with our students that we have prepared since they can't be here today. So we're going to share a tour now, share a virtual tour at this time with them. Hi everyone, welcome to the Faculty of Medical Sciences Teaching and Research Complex. My name is Craig Hall, I'm the Facilities Manager, and I'm going to take you on a virtual tour throughout the complex. The complex comprises of 2 blocks. There's Block A and Block B. On Block A we have 3 lecture theaters, we have tutorial rooms, and we have research labs. For Block B, we have, which is our main building, we have housing this main building, we have anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, physical therapy, Pharmacology and the Dean's Office. Also, we have the School of Dentistry and the School of Medical Radiology housed inside this complex. So come with me as I take you on our virtual tour, showing you the different spaces inside the complex. Let's go. So over here is Block A, where we have the 3 lecture theaters. The research lab is on the 2nd floor. So you have the main research lab, teaching lab, and small research labs. And to the rear of the building, which is to the left, are the tutorial rooms. There are 20 tutorial rooms. Here we have Block B. So this is our main entry point. And during this COVID time, everyone is to enter through the main lobby, where you will be sanitized, and also temperature checks will be done, and recording of names, and also registration of persons entering and exiting the building. Right, so I'm having my temperature checked, and she has advised me to sign into the book, so I'm signing in. Then I'm going to sanitize. So everyone needs to sanitize before entering the building, following the protocols. All right, so let's go. Here we have our directory signboard, and one is on every floor. Here we have our elevators, and because of the whole COVID protocols, only 4 persons are allowed to take the elevator at any given time from point A to point B. So we'll be taking it up, and we'll begin our tour on the 5th floor. So welcome to the 5th floor, which is we call level 5 also. So it's the pharmacology and the dean's wing. So to my left is where you have the dean's office. This is the dean's office information desk for persons needing information about the required course of study. And to our left, this is the entry to the pharmacology and pharmacy department. This is our typical pharmacology teaching lab. Over on this side, we have the pharmacy lab, which is one of our newest labs. So this is where all the pharmacy students' practicals are done. So you have compounding and the making of essential oils. And also, this is where they did hand sanitizers for the university. So basically, all the floors are the same, as in the building is sort of symmetrical. So it's the same space on the 4th floor where we have physiology, but different layout. So we are going to go down to physical therapy, where I'll show you a bit more of the building. Welcome to 3rd floor, where we have the Department of Physical Therapy. So in this section, we have the reception area for the section of physical therapy. Also, to my left, that's where you have the admin support offices. Also, this is where you have the library for the school, and also additional offices for academic staff members. In this section also is the Department of Sports Medicine support office. Here, so this is a practical room 1. So we have 3 practical rooms on the 3rd floor for physical therapy and a research lab. As we go along the corridor, there are 2 sets of restrooms, male and female, and we have restrooms on each floor for students. So in this section, we have our sports medicine clinic, which is also on this 3rd floor. And we have patients that come in from time to time for rehabilitation.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Roman Hunter, and this is the UA Sports Medicine Clinic. It's a part of the Faculty of Sport, the Mona Academy of Sport, and here we do physiotherapy, medical evaluations for UA teams, sport teams, as well as clubs from the rest of, around Jamaica. And we also perform or do personal training. Here we also see our physiotherapy students as they do their rotations and their medical placements, their physiotherapy placements. And we also have medical students who also do placements here just for observation and get some more experience as it relates to sports physiotherapy. And they are part of our master's program, Masters in Sports Medicine and Exercise Science program, which is offered for the medical faculty, persons in the medical area, as well as physiotherapy. All right, so here we are. We're at the rehab pool of the School of Physiotherapy. And the students will learn a whole lot here. It'll be really fun for them. They'll have the opportunity of going into the water and, just really being taught as it relates to aqua aerobics and, different therapeutic exercises that can be done in the pool. We have different equipment as well that can be used in the pool as a part of rehabilitation. So the students will all be taught as it relates to things that can be done not only in the classroom, not only academically as it relates to theory, but they'll put that theory into practice, and we'll be doing a lot of that. And this will be some of the things that they will be doing using this pool. This is the rehab pool.
Welcome to the Department of Biochemistry, which is on level 2. And this is our directory board, which shows you where the different labs are. Here is where we have the main office for the Department of Biochemistry. You can get information on your courses that you'll be doing. And also around this section here, we have our research labs. So as you exit the elevator, you turn immediately to your right. And when you come to your right, you have 2 research teaching labs. One is Research Lab West, and the other is Research Lab East. This is Biochemistry Lab West, and inside we have, it's a large teaching lab. The capacity for this lab is basically 100 students. And on top of each workstation, you realize that we have electrical plugs. Also, we have faucets for gas, air, and vacuum to carry out research. So we journeyed over from Block B to Block A, where we have 2 other research labs. So one is the molecular biology, and one is microbiology teaching labs. So we are now on the first floor, where we have histology, which is a part of anatomy, and the School of Dentistry, also the School of Medical Radiation Technology Department. So after exiting the elevator, we turn directly to the right, and we have to the left histology, which is a part of anatomy, and also we have the School of Dentistry, where we'll take a sneak peek into the operation. So this is the dental simulation lab, where we have the basic simulation lab and the advanced simulation lab. So directly in front of us, what we're looking at here is the advanced simulation lab. And to the back of that, we have the basic simulation lab. Let's go inside and look. So here we have the advanced simulation lab, which I mentioned earlier. And to my immediate right, this is where we have our basic simulation lab. Exciting stuff, guys, exciting stuff. Okay, so we'll be going around now to the School of Medical Radiation, so I'll show you where it's located. Let's go. here we are finally on the ground floor of Block B, where we have the Department of Anatomy. We are looking directly at the entrance to the East Lab of the Gross Anatomy. And this side we have the West Gross Anatomy Lab. So here we are on Block A, where we have the 3 lecture theaters, Lecture Theater 1, Lecture Theater 2, and Lecture Theater 3. So here we have Lecture Theater 2. This is the same setup as Lecture Theater 1. So once you have seen Lecture Theater 1, it's basically the same thing as 2. Okay? And this is our 150-seater. So beyond Lecture Theater 3, that's where we would enter or go to the tutorial rooms. So there are 20 tutorial rooms on the ground floor, which we call level 0. There are 12 tutorial rooms, and on the first floor, there are 8 tutorial rooms. Passing Lecture Theater 3, you'd be on your way now to the tutorial rooms. There are 20 tutorial rooms. On the ground floor, which we call level 0, there are 12 tutorial rooms. And on the first floor, there are 8 tutorial rooms. And to locate a tutorial room, normally on your timetable, you would see the room number. So if you look on the door, you would see it can be identified. Each room can be identified by the room number with a tag. There's a tag on the door. All right, so we are going to take a walk around, so you'll see what's going on. So here are the tutorial rooms. So there are 20 tutorial rooms as mentioned, 12 on this ground floor, which we call level 0, and the floor above, which is we call level 1, there are 8 tutorial rooms. Each tutorial room, as mentioned before as well, can be identified by the top number, which is the room number. So on the timetable, you will see, like, for example, the one that we're looking at right now, 045, so that will identify the space in which you would have a class. And likewise, the one beside it is 044. And for each tutorial rooms also, we have the support restrooms beside, so male and female. And there are another set above as well. We have come to the end of our virtual tour. I hope you enjoyed what I had to show you. And I hope that if we do, or when we do, return to face-to-face, that you'll be able to find your classes and find the labs respectively. Hope you have a great year. So see you soon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hall, for your virtual tour. I felt like I was there. All right, we are going to be moving along, and we are going to be hearing about COVID and responsible behavior from Mr. Eamon Young. Mr. Young is a 4th-year med student from Trinidad and Tobago, but he now calls Jamaica home. So we're happy to hear that, Mr. Young. He has been a COVID-19 vaccine ambassador for as long as they have been around, and he actively works in the logistical management, planning, and execution of Blitz exercises. He's also a core member of the Mona Aging and Wellness Center Vaccine Center team, where he volunteers much of his time for the greater good of the cause. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Young. Over to you.
Good morning and thank you. So I'm going to share my presentation now. All right, so good morning, everybody. Dean Thame, all deputy dean, faculty, staff, and of course, my newest colleagues. So today I'll be doing a short presentation on COVID-19, which would be your newest responsibility. So I am a firm believer that everybody needs to be singled out, because whether it's from when we are just studying now, the field of medicine that we're all going into can't be done individually. You need to have a group. You need to have core members of 2 or 3 people that you study with, be it virtually right now because of COVID or in person. And when you move further onwards into your clinical years, like I am in now, it will become clear to you that a hospital is not functional alone just with a doctor. You have to have your nurses there taking care of your patients constantly. Patients need physical therapy. Patients need diagnostic imaging done to them in order to see what's going on inside. Something like pharmacology. Patients need medication to be able to heal in their process. So I want to welcome each and every member that is here with us today. So those of you who are becoming medical doctors, our nurses, our future physical therapists, those in diagnostic imaging, basic medical sciences, our dental surgeons and pharmacologists, welcome and good morning again. Normally we'd be all here. This is lecture theater 3, which we just saw in the virtual tour. But unfortunately, COVID has other plans for us. So here we are today, and I'm going to make this as light as possible, but also as informative as possible as I can. So you, the class of 2026 for the MBBS students, will be 24 and 25 for some of the others, as far as I remember. You are the newest addition to our medical fraternity here at the UWI. And your role as an advocate for responsible behavior during this time of a pandemic, if it has not begun already, needs to begin now. So how do we fulfill our role as an advocate? Well, we have to be leaders by example, because ultimately the population at large looks up to us, especially during this time, to see how we are behaving, so they can replicate that type of behavior. So first and foremost, we need to speak about masks. It may sound like we've heard this 100 times and everybody should know already, but it's something that I must go over because it slips even me at times. So here you see a cloth mask, which is not very effective, but if it is all that the average person can wear on a daily basis, it's better than wearing nothing at all. What we would encourage, if you're going to the grocery store or anything like that, is a surgical mask. It would stop you, who could be an asymptomatic carrier of COVID, from spreading the virus, but it's not as effective as preventing you from contracting the virus from somebody else. That's why it's important that we all wear our mask. Now, here you'd see the N95 mask, which is sought after by everybody because it's claimed to be the best mask that we have, and it is, with efficacy rates of more than or equal to 95%. We can see why they say so. However, because of short supply and high demand, we ask that, us as students don't purchase these masks and leave them for the medical professionals that deal with COVID patients in isolation in the emergency room. The next option is a KN95 mask, which are much more available to us and actually could be more effective at times, because an N95 mask needs to be fit tested to your face when they place it on and they test it with certain gases, whereas a KN95 mask is made to fit most faces with a leakage rate of less than 8%. So really and truly, you could be wearing an N95 mask that's not fitted or the correct size for your face, and it really is just not going to get the job done as well as it should. Next point, we must maintain social distance in all settings and do not partake or endorse social gatherings. So for the Jamaicans, even if it's a small par with 4 or 5 friends, or for the Trinidad a lime or whatever you may call it, at this time it really shouldn't be happening. But if it is, we should still all be masked, social distance, and not sharing drinks or sharing food, because we know COVID is spread by droplets, and you could understand why those practices would cause problems. But very importantly, we need to be advocates on social media, in person, those types of stuff, against mass gatherings. These large events, it is my belief that is what has us in the dire situation we are in today. when our entertainment sector was open back up. And these are just two pictures I'm drawing of examples of some events that occurred in the grill a few weeks ago that have us in the place that we are today. So we need to discourage this as much as we can, because some people, it's just the fact they don't know any better and they don't know the implications that these events could have. So we need to wash and sanitize our hands each and every time we interact with someone, somebody, or something that does not belong to you or is shared. Importantly, if you come into contact with somebody who later tests positive for SARS-CoV-19, you need to immediately isolate and follow all necessary protocols. With the first thing being contacting the Ministry of Health and Wellness hotline and letting them know that you've come into contact so they can start contact tracing. But for us, as UV students, there is this health center COVID-19 contact questionnaire that we must fill out and return to the said email, Blossom, that would be stated on the form, your name and your ID, and this is necessary and you need to tell the truth on it. Were you wearing a mask, X, Y, and Z? There's no reason to lie. This is for the betterment of you. This could be found on OURVLE in one of your containers, I'm told. So please familiarize yourself with this and observe all necessary protocol. This is just a little graphic to show you how do we self-quarantine at home, ensure you're in a well-ventilated room. That doesn't mean leaving your bedroom door open that leads to the living room where your auntie and granny and everybody else are that will now get your virus. No, well ventilation means that your window to outside is open and all of your droplets could go that way. We try not to touch our eyes, nose, and mouth too much. We sneeze into a tissue, let them drop food outside your door for you. Really are. We're trying to curb the spread. That's what's happening. So how else do we fulfill this role? Well, the meat of the matter is we need to be vaccinated. These variants are going to keep happening. Things are going to keep getting worse, and we'll be in a vicious cycle of locking down, opening up, locking down, opening up, if we don't achieve mass vaccination or herd immunity. So in Jamaica right now, everyone over the age of 12 years could be vaccinated and have had the opportunity to have at least one vaccine at this point in time. And I can say that certainly because I've been there firsthand, seeing the vaccine clinics and the blitz, and they are not over capacity, most of them. It is just people that are hesitant or anti-vaxxers. And again, this is where your role is to inform the public and use your stance as a new budding medical professional and let them know this is why you need to be vaccinated. You could support it with facts and just, educate as much as you can and push them to be vaccinated. But I would say, because I know there are many medical students and professionals who are not yet vaccinated. And if you're not yet vaccinated, you need to consider yourself part of the problem. That's just the bare fact of it. You cannot be telling somebody you need to be vaccinated or COVID is X, Y, and Z if you yourself are part of the problem. And if you are vaccinated, I thank you for being part of the solution. If, however, though, you feel like you don't know enough about the vaccine and you need some encouragement to make the right decision, you can email me, you could WhatsApp me. I'm just trying to get everybody vaccinated because it's the only way that we can get back to life as we knew it before, or something like life as we knew it before. As I said, I can have you vaccinated tomorrow, and no excuse is a good excuse. In Jamaica right now, there are 3 vaccines available: the Pfizer, BioNTech, the AstraZeneca, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. At Mona Aging and Wellness, where I spend a lot of my time, we have both the AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is readily available. There's also Pfizer for those who prefer that one. Unfortunately, not at our location, but there are other sites within Kingston and St. Andrew or by wider Jamaica that you can get this vaccine. Now, but we must remember, and this is sticking a pin, not until everybody's fully vaccinated, and you are not fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after you've received your second dose of a double dose vaccine in the case of AstraZeneca and Pfizer, or 2 weeks after your single dose vaccine, that'll be in the case of the Janssen vaccine. We must still wear masks and practice all necessary protocol in order to curb the spread of the virus. And not until everybody is vaccinated or we've reached a level of herd immunity can we return to life as we know it before this pandemic began. So here at UWI, we are home to 2 vaccine sites for Kingston and St. Andrew. We have the University Hospital of the West Indies and the Mona Aging and Wellness Clinic. And since the initiation of COVID-19 vaccine program in Jamaica, medical students have played an integral role in its running. And I am inviting and encouraging each of you to be part of this initiative. You are all welcomed, and we encourage all of you to volunteer. Actually, in March of 2020, when we had to open up a call center for the COVID hotlines, that is when our student volunteers first began. And it has filtered into this role as working in the vaccination process. So how do we sign up? You can email me at my email that's on the screen there. You can write it down with your name and contact number, and I can add you to our volunteer roster. We have, I have a colleague that works alongside me, Adam Griffith, who helps with the scheduling of all of these students. So you will meet him very shortly. In this picture here, you see Dr. Edwards, who's holding the Sharps box. She's the head vaccinator. We have Professor Elder Maya Shearer, who is the head of the Mona Aging and Wellness Vaccine Center, and Dr. Rickett Rooms, who is assists with the management of the student volunteers and the Blitz execution. So just to keep it light now, though at the end of the day, vaccination could be very tiring. You go 12, 13 hours on your feet in a Blitz. You may look popped down on the stage like this. You do get to do some fun stuff, like with the senior public health nurse for one of the Kingston and St. Andrew areas, pulling up the life-saving COVID-19 vaccines. Here, I'll just show you some more students at work. We have documentation workers on the stage. These are all first through 5th year medical students. We have some of my classmates here filling out vaccine cards. You see another student, that student is me, directing patients at the Students' Union for registration, some more student volunteers registering them, and those that are on the ground facilitating the process. Now, just before I close, some friendly advice. Coming from me seeing things firsthand and experiencing things firsthand. Dean's List is a lovely idea. It's lovely to achieve, and it's attainable for some. But what I could tell you, it's not worth a burnout. If you're working hard, putting your best foot forward, do not try to keep pushing your body to the limits just because you want to get all A's and end up on a Dean's List. Your best should be the best. So once you're passing your courses, if that's where you are and that's the student you are, and that's how you're pushing your hardest and that's where you are, that's okay. It's not worth a trip to the ER for burnout or needing to end up having psychiatric care. No, we don't want that. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take a night off, relax when you can, talk to some friends, watch some Netflix. You could chill a bit. But importantly, enjoy the journey because it goes fast. I feel like not even a year ago, I was sitting down here in my orientation, and here I am in 4th year, with 4th year and 5th year to go until I, please God, get my MBBS degree. It goes fast. Enjoy the journey. And once again, congratulations. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Young. That information was definitely well needed and very timely. And thank you also for all that you have been doing as we trod on in this fight. In line with what you have just presented, I just want to bring to your attention, to our students who are with us for orientation, that as part of the orientation activities, the faculty would like to encourage you to visit a nearby vaccination site. Mr. Young has really pressed that we need to be part of the solution, not a part of the problem. So if you wish to do so, you may visit the Mona Aging and Wellness Center, as Mr. Young had mentioned. And we are having actually a blitz specifically for students. So you are welcome to visit the Mona Aging and Wellness Center on August 31st and September 1. We have placed you in designated days based on your surname to prevent crowding. So we ask that you follow the schedule. So for persons with surnames beginning A to G, it's 1 to 2:30 p.m. on the 31st. And persons with surname H to M, it's 2:30 to 4 p.m. on the 31st as well. Those with surnames N to S, you go on the 1st of September between 1 and 2:30 p.m. And if your surname is between T and Z, then you go between 2:30 and 4 p.m. on September 1. So please ensure that you are prepared for your visit. You need to bring your identification card, your TRN, and if you are going, if it's a no movement day, of course, as tomorrow will be the 31st, you bring this letter, a copy of this letter with you to verify where you are traveling to. All right. So we do hope that you take advantage of this Blitz opportunity and you go ahead and get your vaccinations in. Okay, so we are getting closer to the close of our program. Just a little bit of information. We have scheduled the acculturation activity, which was scheduled for 11:15 today, but that has been moved to tomorrow at the same time, 11:15. So it means then that with this change in our program, our last presenter is going to be Miss Aisha Matthews, and she will be carrying us through a registration guide. Ms. Matthews is a member of the Registration Information Systems team. In her role as a functional analyst, she manages the course scheduling and registration process and acts as a liaison between the MONA Information Technology Services, academic and or administrative sections. I now hand over to Ms. Aisha Matthews.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Aisha Matthews, as you just learned, but you can call me Aisha. So I'm going to share my screen so we can look at the registration or course selection process. Right, so first things first, I just want to congratulate everyone here. You've made it. This is the first day of the rest of your lives. You all know how that goes. So congratulations to being here. Congratulations on continuing if you're a returning student. So let's get into how you actually start school, right? So the first thing that we need to be aware of is before any student starts selecting courses and registering, you need to obtain registration information. Time and time again, we have new students coming in and they don't know which courses they're supposed to be doing. They don't know what a SAS is, nothing. So by the end of my presentation, hopefully you guys will be able to navigate that system and you'll have, you won't be so fresh to everything that's happening here. So as we're all now a part of the orientation program, so by the end of this week, everybody should be a little bit more familiar about where you guys need to go, what your courses should be, should have received academic counseling and all of that, right? After this process has ended is when we advise students to go ahead then and select their courses. And the selection of courses is done online. There is no manual registration of a course. There is no office. There's no form that you fill out, and then you get entered into the course. All of it is done online. You are not a UE student until you have registered for your courses and paid your fees. Okay, so it's very important that you select your courses correctly and that you continue to check your records throughout the entire year, because changes do happen throughout the semesters. Sometimes courses get canceled, sometimes streams get shifted, instructors change, rooms change. So you have to acknowledge that it's your responsibility to check to see what's happening on your record. Throughout the process of selecting your courses, you may also encounter registration errors. And this will look like needing to request overrides, for example. And I am going to do a little walkthrough of the SAS system so you can see what it looks like if you're not familiar just yet. So it'll be easier for you to receive the information. Finally, after all of that is done, the most important part also is that your fees are paid. This is important because a student may be registered at the beginning of the semester, and then throughout the term when checks are being done to ensure that students' records are up to date, there is a thing called a deregistration process. And this means that students are essentially dropped from their courses if they have not met the financial requirements. All of this information is sent to students from the Office of the Campus Registrar. So please become very familiar with Mona messaging and your UE emails. Do not skip over them. Don't put them in the trash before you read it to see what is happening. It's very important information. It's information that you need, right? So just check to see what the payment deadlines are. And if you need to make any arrangements with BOSS or with SAS for payment, what's the word? If you need to get on a payment plan, then you would contact those offices for assistance where that is concerned. So registration has already opened for the entire campus. That means your years 1 through 5 are now able to select their courses. Years 3, 4, and 5 would have started a little bit earlier, but first year students and second year students, all of your courses are online and you should be able to go in and select as necessary. There is a late registration period, and what that means is before your mid-semesters begin, the late penalty process starts. And what that means is students will then be required to pay a fee to get access to select a course. Once your mid-semesters start, students are unable to drop a course. So I just want to go over that one more time. We're currently in the normal registration period, which started on August 9th. The end of that date is still to be confirmed, but that communication will be sent to all students. At the point of your mid-semester starting, students are unable to drop a course. Once we have entered into the late penalty process, it means that students will be required to pay a fee to gain access to register. All right. So just quickly again, I just want to remind everybody that you are required to get academic counseling, and this means that your faculty offices will prepare information for you about what is needed for your particular program. The offices will be able to indicate what your core courses are, and they may even recommend elective courses if that is a part of your program. I just wanted to say to anybody, if you have questions at the end of the presentation, I'll definitely respond to you. Okay, so SAS is accessed through the UMONA website. I'll do a quick demonstration at the end of how you get to the link. Once you have entered SAS, you will be required on the login page to enter your ID number and your password. Now, your password is the very At the beginning of the term, it's usually your date of birth. However, MITS usually generates a password. So if you're unclear or need to reset your password, please contact MITS for that reset. At the end of this presentation, you will see their contact information. After you have entered the secure area, logged in with your password and your ID number, then you'll move through the registration menu to select your courses. Once you have selected your courses, there is a link called the registration status and financial clearance page. You'll use that link to review your registration status. You'll also, throughout the course selection process, be able to request overrides where necessary. So, points to note are that your registration happens online. We recommend that students register as early as possible to avoid late registration penalties. As you are selecting your courses, and I will demonstrate this as well, you are required to select all components of a course when you are adding it to your record. What this means is sometimes there are courses that have different schedule types. So you'll have a lab, a tutorial, and a lecture. Or for some courses, you only have a seminar stream. So you have to look at the entire list of streams on the ad page, so you will know if you are required to select more than one component for that particular course. Similarly, when you are dropping a course, whether you've decided that you're no longer interested in doing that or you made an error in adding it in the first place, you drop all components of the course. When you are registering, also pay attention to the campus and the stream that you are selecting. UE is courses are offered at multiple sites or campuses. So what that means is currently we are working from Mona campus, but you also have students at WJC, you have students at affiliate sites such as Brownstown Community College, Money Community College, and you have sites in St. Kitts and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And those streams are all available if the course is being taught at all campuses. If you are a Mona student, meaning you applied to UE Mona, then your stream is the Mona stream. The campus is listed there for each stream. So please pay attention to the streams that you're selected. The system will generate a campus restriction error and you cannot request overrides for those. If you are interested in doing a course that is offered at a different site, you will need dean's approval. It's called a pre-approval, whereby the dean allows you to do a course at a different site. Override requests, however, are processed by the faculty and the approval is not guaranteed. So what this means is if you're doing free electives in another faculty, for example, and you require an override to get into the course, it's not a guarantee that you will be permitted to do the course. That approval lies in the office or department that owns the course. So if you wanted to do Introduction to Marketing as an elective and it requires an override for you to get in, the administrators in the department at the Mona School of Business and Management would need to give you that approval, and that's not guaranteed. At the end of your course selection process, after you have registered or submitted your override requests, always check your registration status and financial clearance page. In my opinion, this is the most important page on a student's record because it tells you exactly what is happening with every course that you have selected. It tells you if you're registered, it tells you if you're pending an override request, and it tells you if the course has been canceled after you had been registered. And finally, registration for a course is registration for the examination. Especially now that we are online and even in a face-to-face setting, you are not permitted to enter an examination room without being registered for the course. So this means if you did not select the course or you requested an override and it has not been approved, you are not a registered student. And if at the point of doing an exam, you are still not a registered student, you are not permitted to enter the exam for that course. Okay, so if you are having trouble with logging into SAS in the first place before you do anything else, you're unable to log into SAS, please contact MITS. I also want to point out that new students must accept their offer into their program in order for a record to be created for you. When you are given the offer to come to UWI to pursue your degree, there's usually a little link in that email that you need to click on to say, I accept this offer. I would like to come to UWI. I would like to do this program. Once that has been done, then you're able to, the system will generate the necessary domain credentials for you, meaning your ID and your password. So whenever you are querying whether or not you can get into SAS, always think back to whether or not you had accepted that offer in the first place. The contact information is there for you. I would suggest writing it down so that if you need to get to MITS, you can. Okay, and to wrap up, your registration checklist includes getting academic counseling, selecting your courses, verifying your course registration status, and of course, financial clearance. And that's it from me. Thank you very much. I will be going through, I'll be showing you a, I'll be showing you the SAS page. I'm just trying to switch my screen. Give me 1 second. Right. Okay, so for you to get to this page, you could literally go to Google, type in UWI Mona SAS, and the login page will pop up for you, right? Once you have entered your ID number and your password, you will be taken to a landing page, and then you will select student. So student services is where all of the queries are done. It's where you can request for a transfer to another faculty. It's where you find the student, the automated student request system if you need to do a leave of absence, if you need to voluntarily withdraw, if you need to request for a late adjustment to your registration, meaning after the system has closed for you to drop a course, if you need the course to be removed, it has to be approved at that point by academic board. You go to this screen here that's called the automated student request system, and you submit your request here. Oh Lord, I'm so sorry, I got kicked out. Let me just get back in. I am so sorry. Okay, so this is the login page. I've entered the student's ID number and I am entering her password. Okay. So this is the landing page. You select I agree to continue. You select student services, and then you go to the registration link. Now your registration menu has a few links here. I suggest that you get familiar with all of them. All of them are very useful. As it relates to selecting courses to add to your record, you can go straight to look up classes to add. You select the term. You'll notice that all the other terms have in brackets view only. That's because the term has closed. So you cannot add a course from this screen for a term that has been closed. The only thing that's open right now is 2021-22 semester 1. So you select submit, and then you have two options. You can either search course by course here. So for example, you would enter your subject area, or you could scroll. But if you know your subject area, and I'll just use MBSc, you could literally just type MD and it will bring you down to all of the course codes that begin with MD. So you select MBSc, you go to course search, and then you can view sections for each course. Now, after academic counseling, you will know what courses you should be registering for, depending on where you are in your program. So I am going to pretend to be a first-year student, and I'll view sections for a first-year course. This course, Fundamentals of Disease and Treatment, right away I can see that this course has a lab for Mona campus and a lecture for Mona campus. When I continue scrolling, when I go all the way to the end, I'll see if there are any other schedule types. I notice that there is an exam-only stream and there are 2 tutorial streams. Now, a student registering for this course would only need to select the lab, the lecture, and one of the tutorials. So for each component, you only select one. You don't select 2 labs, 1 lecture, 2 tutorials. You only need 1 lab, 1 lecture, 1 tutorial. For students who are resitting a course, then they would only need to select the exam-only stream for that course. So you would select the checkbox for all of the components that you need. And then you can select register, or you can select add to worksheet. For this presentation, I will not be selecting either of these. This is a student who has already registered for her courses. But I could add it to worksheet, so you see what that looks like. So if I add to worksheet, it's not adding to worksheets. I'm so sorry. But if you add it to worksheet, it will just save the courses as you have selected them, and then at the end of adding all your courses to worksheet, you could select register one time instead of going back and forth for each registration. But either way is fine. Once you have successfully registered for your courses, when you go to the add drop link, you will see them all listed here. And you'll also see the status, which states web registered, and it tells you on what date you were registered. If you needed to request an override, when you select the course, you would get a registration add error on this page, and then you would be able to request an override by selecting this request override link. Once you come to the request override link, the course in error would be available here from this drop-down box. You would select the course, you'd enter a reason for needing the request, for needing the override, and then you would submit your request. After you have successfully registered or submitted your override requests, the next step is to go to the registration status and financial clearance link. I cannot tell you how important this page is. So I'll just keep repeating myself. A student is not registered until you see register. Why is this here? Until you come on this page and you see your status as registered. If you check this screen and you see anything else besides registered, it means you are not registered for the course. If you see pending, if you see canceled, if you see something looking strange, you're not sure what it means. If it doesn't say registered, you're not registered. This page also tells you when you are financially cleared. It's the most important, guys, please check this page throughout the term because things sometimes change and we don't want you to get caught in at the day of exam, and that's when you realize that you weren't properly registered for a course. So always check this page. After you have successfully registered and you've checked your status, you can also view your timetable by selecting the timetable link, and it will literally show you what your registration looks like on a week-to-week basis. As you skip through each week, you will see where the classes fall, and that's it. That's literally the course selection process. If there are any questions, if you want to open for questions, then you can go ahead and do so.
I have one for you, Ms. Matthews. Thank you so much for your informative presentation. I'm sure the students have benefited greatly from what you have put forward. Quick question. If a student is having their tuition payment coming by a student loan and it does not come through to UE by the 3rd of September, does this affect the student's ability to attend classes?
So once the student is not a returning, okay. It can, depending on the status of the request. It can affect the student depending on the status of the request, but that is usually communicated to students through the office of the campus registrar. They usually say once a student has a status of, I believe, C, then they're able to go in and register as usual. But that once it comes to payments of fees and student loans, usually the bursary or the billing section communicates with students to let them know what cannot or cannot be done in terms of registration.
Thank you so very much.
I don't know why I'm not hearing you.
I
can see it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your response, Ms. Matthews, and thanks again for your very informative presentation. Greatly appreciated.
No problem.
I just want to do a reminder for those persons who may have come on after we had made the announcement. There is actually a blitz, vaccination blitz, that is going to be put on for our students. And so the timelines can be seen on your screen. It will be August 31st and September 1. And to avoid crowding, we ask that you come at designated times based on your surnames. And you can see here, A to G and H to M are on August 31st, while N to S and T to Z are on September 1. So we strongly encourage our students to go on and get your vaccinations done. We also want to remind you that when you end here today, when the session closes, you actually you're asked to join your orientation villages at 12:30. Here, I will be showing you the links depending on the programs that you are registered for. So it's a virtual orientation village. And so we ask that you go on in at 12:30. We will have persons there on the other end to answer your queries, to assist you with registration, to get all the details out of the way before we have a smooth start to the semester. All right, so Please take note of the different links for your programs so that you can be a part of this process. Okay, so we have come to the end of our first day of orientation for the Faculty of Medical Sciences. I would like to say a very big thank you to all those who were a part of the process today. We heard from our program directors and heads of school heads. We want to say a big thank you for what you have put forward to our students. To our Dean, Prof. Thame, thank you so much for your encouraging words. You implored our students that, you know, to ensure that they build friendships, and these friendships will actually be for a lifetime, as those of us who have already gone through the process can attest to. You made it clear that this is your place to shine. So as you start this new journey, we hope that it will be a success for you, our students. If you had joined us after our guest speaker, Mrs. Stewart McCoy, had spoken, she gave us 6 tips as we navigate this e-learning space. So she said we need to prepare a dedicated study space. You need to be Zoom or Blackboard Collaborate ready. You need to create a learning routine. You also need to minimize or remove all your distractions. You need to trade old study habits for new ones, and you need to practice self-care behaviors. We want to say a big thank you as well to our facilities manager and our lab manager, Mr. Craig Hall and Mr. Winston Young, for information that was imparted today and for the virtual tour, which made us all feel like we're actually on location at the Faculty of Medical Sciences today. Thank you very much, Mr. Young, for your presentation that was very critical and very key to the times that we are in. Your service as a volunteer for our vaccination process is admirable, and we hope that we will have more students joining the process and being a part of the solution. We want to thank also Ms. Matthews for your presentation just now in terms of registration guide. It was very thorough, and I'm sure that you answered a lot of queries that our students may have had. I also want to say thank you so much to Ms. Andrea Nelson and her team, who have ensured that we've had a successful day today, as well as Mr. Damian Brown and his team as well for the IT support. So in closing, I just want to say big thank you to all the students who joined us today for orientation. Having gone to university myself, I can tell you that when you participate in orientation, you're setting yourself up for a smooth transition into this part of your life. So just a little pep up as you go. I just want to tell you that it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So make the rest of your life the best of your life. Thank you so much for joining us today. We continue tomorrow with day 2, which starts at 9 a.m. We ask that you join us. We have a stellar lineup in terms of the persons you are scheduled to hear from, including some of your peers. So you don't want to miss day 2, because you will be hearing directly from students like yourselves who have started the process already and who can give you first-hand information about what you can expect and what their experience has been like. To all our viewers on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of your day.
Morning. Thank you very much. Went without much